We don't need you anymore. Get out, you work-from-home freeloader. With my sister's words, even my parents joined in the chorus, get out. I'm fed up with a family that treats me and my dog as nuisances. If they're going to take that attitude, then I'll do as I please. Thus began my plan for revenge. My name is Kathy, a 33-year-old single woman. I work as a freelance web designer. My job can be done just with a laptop, so I don't work outside. I have a workspace at home and I work at my own pace. Despite having such a great job, a disruptive presence began to intrude on my pace 2 years ago. That was my father and mother. One day, while I was working at home, my parents visited me. As soon as they entered the house, they looked around the room and started this conversation. "Mom, this house really is big. It seems like we could live here too."
"That's right. It seems there's even a spare room. Besides, it's a waste for Kathy to live in such a good house by herself."
"Yeah, let's move in this weekend."
"Agreed, let's do that."
Ignoring my presence, my parents decided everything by themselves. I had no intention of living with them and told them clearly, "Wait a minute, I have no intention of living with you guys."
"What are you saying?"
My father, his face turning red, yelled at me.
"This house was taken over by you, saying you wanted it from your uncle, trying to make it yours. There's a limit to how low you can go."
Take over? I just had a proper conversation with Uncle and he gave it to me.
"Don't make excuses. Anyway, our old house is falling apart. Your mother and I are moving here this weekend."
But actually, this house was given to me by my father's brother, my uncle, who doted on me. The title is still under my uncle's name, but he told me I could use it as I like. According to my father, the family home has become quite old, and a full-scale renovation is needed if we continue to live there. My mother is a housewife, and my father's salary isn't that high, so renovation isn't realistic. So that's why they set their sights on this house that I had inherited from my uncle. I was definitely not thrilled about it, but my parents had already decided to sell their own home and claimed to have no other place to go. I couldn't just leave them hanging, so I reluctantly started living with them. However, the moment they moved in, my parents began throwing sarcastic comments my way.
"Hey, Kathy, you're already over 30, aren't you? Don't you have any plans of getting married?"
"I'm enjoying my work right now."
"Keep talking like that and you'll never get married. Why don't you learn something from your sister?"
My sister's married life isn't going that well, is it? Anyway, I'm fine for now. That's when my mother, who had been listening, interrupted.
"Hey, don't badmouth your sister like that. Unlike you, she's married and she's even working for a company, you know."
"I might not be married, but I'm doing a decent job too."
"You're always just messing around on your computer. You're probably making money through some shady means, aren't you?"
"Shady means? I'm making a living doing legitimate work. No need to worry."
"How dare you talk back to your mother? You really are the complete opposite of your sister."
That's how it was. My parents constantly compared me and my sister. Sure, my sister works for a company, but she's just a temp in an office job. I don't look down on temps, but I certainly earn more than she does. I understand that people from my parents' generation don't quite grasp the concept of working from home, but it was still hurtful to be constantly belittled. Then one day, as I was preparing dinner in place of my ever-idle parents, the doorbell rang unexpectedly. To my surprise, it was my sister Sandy, burdened with a huge amount of luggage. "Huh? Sandy, what's going on?"
"Long time no see, Kathy. This is sudden, but I'll be living in this house from today."
As I failed to grasp the situation, I blurted out a bewildered, "Huh?"
"What a large house. If Uncle was going to give it to someone, he should have given it to me."
Whoa, hold on. Living here from today, I didn't hear anything about this.
"Didn't Mom and Dad tell you? I got divorced, you see."
Divorce?
"So I'll be counting on you from today.
Ignoring my shock, Sandy trudged upstairs and promptly took over an empty room. Despite my best efforts to resist, my parents sided with my sister Sandy, and I couldn't do anything about it. From that moment, my stress just kept piling up. Sandy had quit her job after her divorce, spending her days talking ill of me with our mother.
Hey Mom, isn't this dress cute? Oh yes indeed. Sandy, you're so pretty, it will definitely suit you. Do you think so too? It's totally not something Kathy would wear, right? Well, Kathy is a bit plain, you see. That's why she can't get hired anywhere. All she can do is play online at home. Mom, you can't just say the truth like that. By my side, as I was preparing for dinner, they made sure I could hear their conversation. I was dying to retaliate, but doing so would only give them what they wanted. So, no matter what they said, I just continued to live without any reaction. Then, one day, a friend of mine had a litter of 4 puppies, and I decided to adopt one of them. I named him Muffin. He's a little black chihuahua. Has the most adorable round eyes. When he looks at me, he wags his tail as if it might break off. Owning a chihuahua has been a dream of mine since I was a child. Working from home can be lonely, so I thought Muffin could provide some much-needed comfort. From today onwards, you're Muffin, okay? Woof! I didn't particularly consult with my family when I decided to adopt him. After all, this is my house, and I am the one who is going to bear all the expenses for Muffin, so I don't see why they should have any complaints. When I brought Muffin home, as expected, my parents and Sandy started complaining. Hey, we didn't hear anything about you getting a dog. Exactly. Dogs smell, don't they? I hate odors. Kathy, how could you just bring a dog home without consulting us? We didn't approve of this. As they hurled their complaints at me, I flatly told them. Firstly, I didn't pick him up off the street. A friend gave him to me. Also, I'm the one who's going to bear all the expenses for Muffin, so there shouldn't be any issue. What I choose to keep in my house is my business. If you have any complaints, you're free to leave. At first, they complained vehemently, their faces flushed with anger. But within a few hours, they were smitten by Muffin's cuteness and began to fawn over him. Aren't you cute? Are you mommy? Are you daddy? Or are you sis? Look over here, sweetheart. Wait a minute, what happened to their anger just a moment ago? Was it all a dream? My whole family was utterly fascinated by Muffin. Since then, they were constantly fussing over Muffin. Thanks to this, their hostility towards me had lessened, and I was able to spend relatively calm days. Then, one day, an event occurred that broke this tranquility. While I was out for an errand, I received a call from my sister, Sandy. Hello? Come back home now! What? In response to my sister's sudden shout, I asked, what happened? She vented her anger, shouting back at me. It's not what happened. Muffin did his business on my clothes. What if they smell? Oh, that? Just wash it quickly and it'll be fine. And isn't it your fault for leaving your clothes all over the floor? What? It's my fault. It's your poor training that's to blame. Enough. Muffin is still a puppy, you know. If you take him out for a walk, he won't do his business at home. You said you were excited to walk Muffin today. Did you actually take him? Well, I was going to take him later, and it's all because you didn't teach him properly. Pay me for the clothes. As expected, when I got home, my sister was extremely angry. Both my parents had been informed, and they were glaring at me, standing with Sandy. Sandy threw the soiled clothes at me and started freaking out again. I'm going to charge you for the cleaning cost, okay? Why should I? It's because you didn't take him for a walk and left your clothes thrown on the floor. Shut up! Don't talk back! It's because you brought this stupid dog home that this happened. What are you going to do about it? Stupid dog? You were quite fond of him before. Isn't it harsh to call him a stupid dog just because he had a little accident? It's because you're poor training. Take responsibility.
Why can't my family think of anything other than their own convenience? While I was appalled by my selfish sister, my parents chimed in. Hey, Kathy, shouldn't you at least apologize to Sandy first?
That's right. All of this happened because of that muffin you brought home.
Can both of you give it a rest already? Puppies are like babies. Can't you forgive them for making mistakes once in a while? Pathetic. This situation only happened because of this stupid dog.
Kathy, you made the right choice by not getting married. If you became a mother, I doubt you'd raise a decent child.
What? How dare you say something like that? If you took it for walks properly and kept the house tidy, none of this would have happened. Finally, my sister raised her eyebrow and pointed at me and said,
I can't take it anymore. I don't need you or this dumb dog. Get out of this house.
What?
Didn't you hear me? I said, get out. We don't need a homeworking freeloader here.
A homeworking freeloader? How can currently jobless say such a thing? And who do they think is paying for this household expenses? It's me. As I stood bewildered by my sister's outrageous statement, even my parents chimed in. That's right. Kathy, leave this house.
Your presence only makes us feel worse. You're a jinx.
All three kept repeating, get out in front of me. At that moment, my anger exploded. That's it. I've reached my limit. If this is how it's going to be, just wait. I, who had decided to take revenge on my family, packed my things and left the house with Muffin. In the end, my sister added fuel to the fire.
This is all your fault, you know. If you had just listened to me obediently, none of this would have happened.
They still don't seem to understand their situation, even though hell awaits them. Well, never mind. You three enjoy yourselves in that house. Suppressing my grinning mouth, I left the house with Muffin. A few days later, as expected, my sister suddenly called.
Kathy, help! The house is...
What happened to the house?
All of a sudden we were told, leave by the end of this month.
So?
What?
So what's the problem?
What do you mean, what's the problem? Why do we have to leave?
Well, I've decided to sell the house.
What?
At my words, Sandy seemed to freeze. With a trembling voice, she barely managed to get the words out.
What? What does that mean? You've decided to sell it? You don't have the authority?
Well, I do. You see, that house has been mine a month ago.
What?
Yes, I had officially received the house from my uncle. Of course, the title is in my name. It's no surprise that Sandy was shocked. I hadn't told anyone about this.
You're kidding, right? Even if the title was transferred to you by Uncle, you can't just sell it so easily.
I was worried too, but right after you told me to leave, I consulted with Uncle. He said, "The house is yours now, Kathy. Do what you want. You should get away from that stupid family as soon as possible."
What? No way!
Whether they'd been listening to my conversation with Sandy over the phone speaker or not, my parents started to make a fuss. "Hey, Kathy, cut it out. We have no other place to live if we leave the house."
That's right. It's unthinkable to do this to your own family. If you're a good daughter, show some respect to your parents.
Respect? I asked them with a quiet voice. What are you talking about? You've always looked down on me compared to Sandy. Who do you think has been supporting your life for the past few years? You all had nowhere to live, so I reluctantly let you all live with me. With an unusually strong tone, my parents were at a loss for words. Without waiting for a response, I continued. Who treated me and Muffin like nuisances and kicked us out? It was you guys, wasn't it? Trying to be happy by driving out the original resident is shameless. You people belong to hell. At my outburst, my father begged, "Please help us. We're sorry." "I don't care. Fend for yourselves, you idiots." With that, I hung up the phone with a loud click. Next, I blocked every family member's contact. Seeing me raise my voice, Muffin looked up at me with a worried woof. I held Muffin close. I'm sorry, Muffin, for shouting. It's all right now. I will protect you. I'm really glad that I was able to get Muffin away from that family that treated him so poorly. Later on, it seems my parents and sister were forced to move out of the house at the last minute despite their desperate clinging. With my father's meager income and my unemployed mother and sister, there's no way they can lead a decent life. According to the rumors, my sister is constantly being nagged by my parents to get a job. Their family relationship seems to be getting worse by the day. Although I have no interest in how they live, there's no doubt that their standard of living has plummeted since I left. This is indeed the case of reaping what you sow. Serves them right. Meanwhile, I'm spending my days in fulfillment with my beloved dog in a new pet-friendly apartment. I can work whenever I want, and no one can complain about it anymore. I can use my earnings solely for myself and my dog. I am extremely happy with my life now.
Muffin, let's go to the dog park today.
Woof! Muffin seems more lively. Maybe it's because that noisy family is gone. From now on, I want to protect Muffin for the rest of my life and lead a peaceful life.